Everyone's talking about it. Population collapse. No part of the world will be untouched. Rich countries, poor countries, all are in danger of a drastic decrease in population size due to factors like aging, unemployment, war, and migration. There are certainly some parts of the world more at risk of population decline than others. Even Elon Musk and other internet personalities are adamant that humanity is heading for a new population crisis, underpopulation, due to technological advancements such as AI and humans having fewer children while living longer. Make sure to watch until the end to find out what countries are most vulnerable and get ready for some surprises. They say the Earth is overpopulated. We've all heard it for decades. But here's something you may not have thought of. What if the world isn't overpopulated after all? What if, in fact, we're facing a brand new population crisis, an underpopulation problem? Countries across our planet are growing steadily, maxing out and even going into decline. In 60 years, population growth is projected to peak before beginning to fall down to around 2 or 3 billion, kind of like the 1940s. Life expectancy levels will be much higher than they are now, but which countries are most at risk from this inevitable drop? Italy. Italy has a pretty impressive population of around 60 million people, but there's an issue with their demographic makeup. Almost half of the population is over 45, making it one of the oldest countries in the world. In the year 2100, the number is projected to drop to under 40 million, wiping out a third of their population compared to today. Italy will fall behind in terms of population growth, becoming 58th in the world for numbers. But what about economics? Well, currently, Italy is among the top 10 nations with the highest GDP. But if its population continues to decrease and its citizens keep getting older, that could likely change very soon. We might be seeing more Asian and African countries popping up on those lists instead. South Korea. South Korea has recently been deemed the country with the lowest fertility rate in the world, and that's not a great sign for its future. In terms of population, South Korea is peaking at around 51 million and it's only going downhill from here. By 2040, their numbers will drop to less than 50 million, then 40 million by 2070, and by 2100 they'll have an estimated population of only 30 million, a quarter of whom will be 75 or older. Migration doesn't seem to be helping either, since Koreans just aren't moving about much. To maintain their population number and keep their economy afloat, South Korea will need to encourage more migrant workers over the next few decades. Otherwise, they could wind up as the 67th most populated country in the world, 27th today. Let's hope they don't meet this sad fate. China. China's population is set to take an unprecedented nosedive in the coming years and decades that could reshape the world's landscape like nothing we've ever seen before. Although it currently stands as the world's most populated country with a whopping 1.4 billion people, that's nearly equal to the entire population of Africa, its numbers are starting to dwindle. Some even assume that peak population has already come and gone. Over the next few decades, China will lose more people than what currently lives in both the US and UK combined, dipping from 1.4 billion to just over 1 billion by 2100. That means that India will take over as the world's most populous nation, and China will have lost almost everyone living in South America today. Talk about shocking numbers. Japan. Japan's population growth is one for the history books, and not in a good way. It peaked many moons ago and has been steadily declining ever since, currently clocking in at around 126 million people, 11th most populated country. This number is several million more than it was back in 1950, but Japan has fallen 6 spots on the list since then. Every day, this number gets smaller, while other countries increase their own numbers. Unfortunately, things aren't looking so hot for Japan in the long run. It's projected to be knocked out of the top 36 most populated countries by the next century. Countries like Somalia, Ghana, Mali, Zambia, and Burkina Faso are expected to take its place soon enough. Talk about an incredible shakeup. Spain. Spain may be known for its lively culture and castanets, but its population pyramid might be the one that needs a little rhythm. With only 47 million people, they're ranked as the 30th most populated country, but it looks like this won't stay the same for long. Back in 1950, Spain was the 16th most populated country, but by 2100, they're projected to slip all the way down to 63rd place with just 33 million citizens. That's quite a difference. It could be attributed to their high average life expectancy, which means their population is aging rapidly while younger generation have fewer kids each year. Not looking too good for Spain, folks. Greece. When you think about Greece, you might picture an epic landscape full of influential history, but its population might surprise you. With just 10 million people, it's actually smaller than 33 cities around the world, and it looks like that number is only going to get smaller. In the next century, Greece is projected to drop to 6.5 million people and fall all the way down to 119th on the most populated countries list. That's a pretty scary thought for such an important part of our global history. Amongst 10 billion humans walking this planet by then, Greece will be nothing more than a drop in the ocean. Portugal. Portugal may be a small country with only 10 million people, but it holds a lot of history. Its average life expectancy is high, but not as high as Greece's, and the population isn't going anywhere except down. It's projected to drop to just under 7 million by 2100 and rank 115th on the most populated countries list, barely beating out Greece for 119th place. Not quite the legacy Portugal deserves for its influential past. Bulgaria. Bulgaria's time of population growth is coming to an end. Its current population sits at 6.8 million, but by the turn of the next century, that number is projected to dip a mere 3.5 million, a 50% decrease. Compared to today, where there are 121 cities larger than Bulgaria, that number is sure to skyrocket in 2100 as more people move into urban areas and our global population increases. Not the best news for such a historically significant country. Before we dive into the next nation at risk, take a moment to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss out on our future videos. Thailand. Who would have thought it? Thailand's population is on a downward trajectory, from its current 70 million to 46 million by 2100. That's an over 30% decrease and will knock them from the top 20 to the top 50 most populated countries in the world. Talk about a dramatic drop. In the coming years, the government will have to face the challenge of providing services and infrastructures for an incredibly aging population. Meanwhile, a dwindling workforce will mean fewer opportunities and potentially drastic economic changes for Thailand. How can we be adequately prepared for these sweeping changes that are on the horizon? Well, watching more of our videos is a good start.